All right, I want to get this game to actually start scrolling sideways. So, because right now, in the current state of the game, I can run off the edge of the screen, and my player is running off to the right here, but um, the screen isn't scrolling, so I can't see my player anymore. So what we're going to do in this video is once the player reaches a certain point on the screen, we're just going to have all of the items on the screen get drawn in an adjusted location so that the hero stays centered. All right, so first thing we're going to need to do is take a look at these drawing lines right here, and we're going to have to modify them, and I'm going to move. So the first thing to understand is like this line of code right here is really just shorthand, a shortcut notation for a different way of drawing all of the platforms. So what I can do is I'm going to take out that line of code right now and just show you that I can also write this as for, I'll say, for a sprite in platforms, and then we'll say screen.blit, and it's going to be the sprite.image. And then I'll say, then we'll give it a location, which would be the sprite.rect.x, comma sprite.rect.y. And so this line of code right here and this block of code is the same thing. So I'm going to run this. All right, and nothing changed. So before I do anything else, what I'm going to do is just copy this a few times, and I'm going to replace these lines of code here. And so I have to do it with my player, and I'll do it with my items, and I'll do it with the enemies, and I'll do it with the goal. And so if everything works right, I don't need those lines of code anymore. It looks a little bit cumbersome now, but it's going to give us some more flexibility with positioning. So I'm just going to run this real quick and make sure everything is still in the same place. Okay, everything seems to work just fine. So looks good there. So the next thing I want to do is calculate, right, the offset. And so let's just go up to the logic section here, and I'm going to make a variable offset x equals, and I am going to make it equal to the hero dot rect dot center x. Okay, and so what I'm going to do, so this is just going to be the x coordinate of the center of the hero, and then I'm going to go into here, and I'm just going to write minus offset x, and I'm going to do that in each of these cases right here. And so what's going to happen, is let's say my hero has run, 800 pixels to the right. What we're going to do is draw everything shifted 800 pixels to the left. And so as the hero, so now instead of having the hero run around on the screen, we're actually just taking everything else on the screen and shifting it the opposite way the hero is moving. So let's see how this works. Now this is a little bit weird because my hero is kind of in the wrong place right now. Okay, but I'll start running. And okay, so I'm running and move back and forth, and the items are scrolling. Now there's some things that are weird here. I've just gotten to the edge of the world, and also I just don't like where my hero's drawn. I'd rather my hero be centered on the screen. So let's think about centering the hero on the screen. Okay, so this is what we have right now. And I suppose right there is what we've got. All right, so this red line indicates the offset because the offset is the distance that my hero is from the center of my hero to the edge of the world. And that's not actually what we want, right? What we want our offset to be is, let's put the hero in the center of the box. And I'm going to adjust this, okay? And now my hero is in the center of the box here, and I'll draw a line in here so we can see it, right? And so what I really want the offset to be is the center of the hero, but I don't want this entire distance. I want the hero's x minus half of the width of the screen, of the actual window that I'm looking at. And so I'm just going to go ahead and make a little adjustment in my code. And I'm going to say minus width divided by 2. Again, I always use the double divide because I want to make sure that all my pixel calculations remain integers. Okay, so we'll run this. And this looks a little bit better. Now, kind of funny over here because my hero is now centered on the screen. And so this is definitely an improvement. Now, some funny stuff happens when I get to the edges. Okay, so let's look at that. So the first part, I'll run this one more time so I can get back to when we start the game, right, the offset is now the hero X minus half the width of the screen. And so I can run all the way over to the edge of the world like that, and that's kind of weird. So let's go back to the picture and think about that situation. So I'm going to take all this and slide it over. And so what we're getting at is that, let's see, I'm going to move the hero too. Right? So long as the hero is somewhere in this region, right, this very first half width of the screen, we actually don't want the world to scroll at all. I don't want the world to start scrolling, right, until the hero reaches the center of the screen. Once the hero has reached the center of the screen, then we're going to start letting the offset change. But as long as the hero remains in this part, we don't want any offset at all. So this is the halfway point of so this is the edge of the world, and this is half of a screen width. So as long as we're less than half of a screen width away from the edge of the world, we want the offset just to be 0. So I'm going to go in here and we'll just kind of make it conditional. We'll say if hero.rect.center x is less than width divided by 2, we'll just say offset x is equal to 0, and then we'll do else. And let's see how this works. All right, so I'm going to run over here, and it looks good. Okay, so now let's see, when it starts scrolling, I get to the halfway point, and now the world is scrolling instead of the hero moving. And I'm going to run to the edge of the world here, and we still have this problem over here, which is similar concept. So let's go back to the drawing, and let's think about. So I'm going to just take all this and move it to the edge. And so what I want is, as long as the hero is running around in the world, I want the world to scroll. But as soon as the hero crosses into this region out at the edge, then I want the scrolling to stop. And where do I want the scrolling to stop? Well, I want the largest offset I ever want to have is going to be the width of the world minus the width of the window. And so, so we're just going to scroll along with, we're going to let all the sprites on the screen scroll, adjust positions, and then as soon as the hero hits this location right here, which is half a screen width away from the right edge of the world, then we are going to stop any scrolling, and the offset is just going to be, again, the offset is going to be the world width minus a screen width. And so let me get in here and do this. So we'll add another conditional in here, and we'll say elif the hero.rect.x, center x, is greater than, and I'm going to say world width minus, and we'll do half a screen width, divided by 2, and the offset x is going to be the world width. Whoops. It's going to be the world width minus minus a screen width. And so let's run this. See how this goes. All right, as I get to this edge, and I get to the edge and I'm stuck, and let's see if I run backwards and I get halfway across the screen and everything is scrolling again. And I can't get back past the flag just because my level's messed up. But, so at this point, what I want to do is probably, go back to my map file. And I'm going to go back to my map file, and I probably should move the blocks, and I can move the flag to the edge of the world. I might want to change the width and the height to make a more interesting level, bigger level. But anyway, I think I think we've got something now, and so that's it for this video. I'm going to do one more though, just because I think this right here is getting kind of messy. You can see that it's a lot of redundant code, and I think we can simplify that a little bit. And we also can set this up a little bit better. So maybe some of you want to have a game that scrolls in a vertical direction as well as horizontal. And so let's think about how we can set something up for that. All right, but I'm going to stop this video right now. I think this one has gone on long enough, and I will talk to you later.